Hey guys, D.Bowie here, and this is things I've learned with Arteezy's Huskar in 7.18. Technically this replay is from before the patch, but Huskar had no changes, so bear with me. The first thing I want to talk about is the initial item build. Huskar has mana problems early on, as well as base damage problems. Soul Ring is the easiest, most straightforward way to deal with that. It also gives you a lot of early HP, and it just feels nice to start with the double gauntlets. Fairy Fire is also a clutch item on the hero while dealing with the base damage issue we already discussed. As this game unfolds, you will notice that this was a pretty hard game. Arthur died 13 times, yet I do feel like he played very well, and throughout the entirety of the game he was almost always ahead of everyone in terms of net worth. One of the reasons I feel like he could die that much and still have impact in this game is the meta we're living right now. Heroes like Quap, Ember, and Lycan do farm and scale, but they're definitely not Terrorblades, Lunas, and while we do see PL very often in competitive games, you should never pick Huskar versus 1. But going back, as long as you have a decent laning phase and build the right items, this hero can still farm at the same pace of the heroes in this meta and maintain usefulness. Back to the laning stage though, one of the many strengths of Huskar is being able to harass without drawing aggro. Note though that Arteezy doesn't spam level 1 spears that much. You lose the same amount of HP for burning spears at all levels, meaning that level 1 is the worst level to actually spam them. Especially when you consider that the damage you deal with level 2 spears scales super well at level 2, pretty much tripling. As soon as he gets level 3 though, you can see how his posture changes and how he uses the fact that Quap is forced to last hit under tower to harass her. Another important aspect of the laning stage is that while he gets the Soul Ring, you usually want to scale build like Arthur, which means you have no inner vitality. So bringing more regen is always a good idea, especially against a strong laner like Queen of Pain. Look how thanks to that regen he can man up on Quap, making the time she spent casting Dagger a nightmare. One of the big problems of Huskar though is that since you want to zone the enemy, you can be out of position, which sucks versus heroes like Pudge, especially because him and Quap deal pure damage, and thus Arturito's life is not great during this game. As soon as Arthur comes back though, you can see that Wind Ranger gets chased by Pudge, and she probably told Arteezy that Pudge was going back, since he has no HP and mana. Knowing that, Arteezy can keep on harassing the Queen of Pain. By pushing the lane, Arteezy forces the Quap to miss gold or take damage. And when she tries to get the range CS, not only she misses, but look how Arteezy uses the fact that the tower will draw aggro to the creep to push Quap even further away. Pudge though is a smart man. He TPs in the fog as nighttime comes, but he misses the hook. One play we will see very often during this game is using Life Break to dispel things or to maneuver during a fight. Pudge again goes back with the same play, and you can see that he dispels the concussive shot, buying time for him to use the inner vitality and Fairy Fire. He even uses the salve, but it gets cancelled too quickly by the Reckless. Still, since the lane matchup was good, Arteezy is actually ahead of the Quap even though he died twice, just because Quap had to pretty much leave the lane when he gets level 5. And this is what you need to have when playing Huskar. As long as you dominate your lane, a couple of deaths will not destroy your game, especially if the enemy doesn't have a mega hard carry or you're not the only carry in your team. And that's why you have to 4th or 5th pick Huskar most of the time. This game is fairly long and I want to mention a lot of late and mid game decisions, so this is it for the laning stage. First of all, in 90% of games, Heaven's Halberd is the item you get after Mordigian. Cheap, gives you the biggest amount of strength for gold when you consider that hard is not an option for Huskar, pretty much 100% of the games. Gives you evasion, increasing your effective HP through the roof. It gives you main for chase, and also strength is damage, and strength is super valuable since that's also your main attribute. The second thing we have to talk about is his talent choices to this point. You will rarely see people getting the HP at level 10 unless they're having the worst game ever. Damage talent on a hero with so much attack speed really benefits you, but at level 15 it's way more split. In this game in particular, Ember, Quap, and Lycan are heroes that can easily disengage from you, so it's tougher for the Huskar to make real use of it. Getting the burning spears, even though they don't scale super well, just increases your DPS, but more important than the DPS, you can see that Arthur only needs 2 attacks on each melee creep to clear the wave, which hugely increases how fast you farm and also how long you're showing lane. And that's something insanely important in any core because you want to be able to push waves, but you don't want to die. So, you know, you're doing it fast and you're doing it in a way that's safer. But let's talk about fights. Arturito, for instance, was farming Ashes over here and spots a glimpse of Pudge's TP. Look how he prepares for this. He uses inner vitality before going in by using soul ring on strength threats, switching to intelligence to cast the spell, and then he attacks with agility threats. With the burning spear's talent, and when you're not in mega risk of dying, you actually do way more DPS like this. As he gets hooked though, you can see that he switches to strength, knowing that it's very unlikely that he's gonna get killed. The fight keeps unfolding. Sky is just food for him, and he uses the ult not only to keep chasing Ember, but to dispel the Atos and the Searing Chains, giving him a triple kill. What ensues is that PL gets the Aegis during Roshan, which to me was one of the biggest mistakes this game, but we'll get back to it in a second. They find Pudge here, and as this fight happens, Dire is forcing bottom. Note how the Burning Spear's talent here is what secures the kill. You'll never have a lot of time to hit the cores on the enemy team, so by having that, Pop dies, even though she can blink away. Lycan is the same thing. He was insanely close to dying, and lifesteal is clearly not a problem this game. What happens this game is what happens with pretty much every Huskar game. You get kited and dragged around towards the enemy base while you just want to siege and end the game. Dire doesn't have a lot of catch though, especially against PL, so I'm impressed that PL is the one that got the Aegis, because Arteezy gets hooked by Pudge when the siege starts and they completely waste their advantage. The level 20 talent is probably one of the strongest talents Huskar has besides the new level 25. As we already discussed, strength is amazing in this hero, but a lot of the times what Huskar lacks in the mid and late game is not damage or HP, it's the ability to attack in the first place. The ult cast range makes Huskar's life way easier since you get more options on how you can play your fights. For instance, Arthur is pushing top here and he hides. Not only he can easily follow up on the Pudge here. Oh, that's it, the fight is over, sorry. JK, just a prank. Since he has the huge cast range, he can follow up just slightly faster, being able to kill Lycan during his BKB TP. That's luck, Bowie, shut the fuck up. Well, in this other clip, instead of having to walk all the way around the trees until he gets the range for the life break, look how he can do it way earlier, and if it took 1 extra second to be there, the Ember would have been able to fire Remnant away and they secure the kill. Bowie, stop overanalyzing shit. In this clip over here, the Lycan gets out, even with the ult. Yeah, but seconds after that, Lycan shows bottom this time without the ult, and look how the talent makes the difference. At least, until this happens. The biggest, strongest talent of all though is the level 25. I'm pretty sure there are very few scenarios where you want to get the attack range instead of the other one. This time, they give Aegis to Arteezy, and since both Lycan and Ember are dead, they just focus on structures. Pudge is food for him, but for some reason Arteezy decides to get tier 4s. He backs off, but look what happens to Lycan. No one can even get close to Huskar, but you can still see how kiteable the hero is. Here he commits the life break to break the chains, and they slowly try to wear Arteezy off. But in this clip you can clearly see him using the life break not only to take the slows off, but to disengage. Another great use of the level 20 talent. Then this happened, and that's when Arteezy decided that enough is enough. He farms a negative scepter, and I really like the idea of this game. He gets super kited around, and what Eggs does is reduce the cooldown in 8 seconds, which might seem very little for you, but it's actually a 66% decrease, and it greatly increases your damage with it. It gives you more damage on those fast heroes that you actually have trouble attacking, while also giving more chances to go in and out of fights, while also dispelling shit. The game pretty much ends with the item purchase, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know people are tired of listening about it, but I'm casting every day. I'm trying to make ends meet with Twitch, and I know a lot of people got turned off because my casting is bad. I cannot promise I'm a great caster now, but I do feel like casting for 12 days in a row helped me get better, and I do invite anyone interested in checking me out or just hanging out on Twitch if you're into that sort of stuff. I'm casting high more players every day. If you're there, you can just vote for the player you want to see. If you're a sub, the vote counts twice. And yeah, guys, thanks for, supporting me out. And we're back with the videos. I'm sorry, but I was casting every day, and I mean, people don't really care about videos when there's freaking Dota 18 hours a day. Actually, 24 hours a day. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. It was a pleasure, and bye.